What Babu Owino should do is to be careful, not to fall in the trap of people like Ndindi Nyoro. You are young, vibrant, ambitious, but you are trying to cut a mugumo tree. Now there are mugumo trees in Nyanza. So Babu Owino trying to bring down people like Orengo and Nyang Nyong and the rest of those people. It's like trying to cut down a mugumo tree with a laser. It's like what Ndindi Nyoro is trying to do. That kind of politics is bondage, politics of bondage.
You can do away
we
with
are captured in that politics of Azimio, Kenya Kwanza, UDA, ODM. Unless we break from that politics, we will never move as a country. We will be stuck there.
What a privilege, what an honor to have you on Richard Mwenje Exclusive, the Year of Our Lord 2024. It is a distinct privilege to have you on board. Now today on the show we are discussing the politics of the opposition and particularly what the future portends for Embakasi East Member of Parliament, Babu Owino, in the landscape of politics and governance. Welcome on board, and to bring this conversation home with me is none other than East Africa's renowned political analyst and governance expert, Herman Manyora.
Yes.
Today donning an Ethiopian shirt.
Yes.
What's the occasion, sir?
Very African.
Yeah?
African. I'm going for a rush in Moranga.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Before you attend mine soon enough.
Yes. Yours is soon.
God willing.
And I'm giving all the gods.
You shall?
Of course.
All right, and your blessings as well.
More than anything.
Very well. That of the way, let's discuss matters to do with the political future of Babu Owino and also some of the developments from his side this far. And let's begin with his role to oversight how the county government is doing and spearheading its mandate. And this should particularly be the primary role of Sifuna, the Senate of Nairobi. But we've seen a recent presser from Babu Owino saying how Governor Sakaja is doing bizarre spending of taxpayers' money. And it's not the first time that he's taken concern with how Nairobi government is being run. So my question is, do you think he's overstepping his mandate in as far as oversight is concerned?
No, every good citizen, all of us are citizens, are to grow our democracy, our good governance, by being actively involved in what's going on in the country, right from the grassroots to the national level. So as a citizen, Babu Owino is quite in order to question things.
How about
and Sifuna is doing his role, and nobody has ever doubted the super senator's abilities. Sifuna is doing his job well. But there's nothing wrong with any other person, Babu included. Maybe what you would have asked me was, since Babu has shown interest in the seat, how is he coming out? That's the question.
We are heading there to that particular question. But then, for those quarters who believe that he's trying to steal the thunder of Nairobi Senator Edwin Sifuna, how wrong or right could they be?
It's not possible. Sifuna is already a thunder. You can't steal thunder from him because he's already thunder itself.
You can't tame it down?
No. Sifuna is thunder itself. How can you?
Very well. And now talking matters to do with the politics of 2027, and Babu Owino seems to be positioning himself to take that particular job. Yes. And this far, among those who've shown interest in that particular seat, do you think Babu Owino is the sharpest artillery that ODM or Azimio or the outfit of that time can use for the Nairobi governorship bid?
I will not use the word sharpest. What I would say, Babu Owino stands a good chance of being governor of Nairobi. That's what I would say.
And now how hard or what should he recalibrate and bend in his political element so that he can easily slay the giant that is Governor Sakaja?
He must work on his image. The image so far is that of an activist. So he must transform himself into a leader, like I talked about Ndindi Nyoro. And you see Ndindi Nyoro, not because I said it, but you can see the transformation.
Sort of a political gentleman.
Yeah, now he's moving from an activist to a leader. To a mature politician. That transition is necessary for Babu Owino. Top on the list of the things he must do.
Very well.
And secondly, which I was saying, and when you said, then you said we'll look at it later. Secondly, Babu Owino must then also know that the things he's saying about Sakaja will be taken in that light. So he must be careful. You don't come out very well when you criticize somebody whose wife you want. He wants Sakaja's wife. So he must be careful how he talks about Sakaja. And this is, you know, Kenyan politicians have a problem. They don't seek advice. They listen to people around them who make noise and take tea from them.
Even Babu Wino is your great friend. You never advise him?
No, he's my friend, but I'm not his advisor. If I was his advisor, he would not be doing some of the things he's doing.
At a small fee, though?
Just a small fee. I'm not, money doesn't mean much to me. Yeah, but the idea is he must be very careful how he attacks Sakaja. Very carefully.
Very well.
He must do it very carefully because people read malice. Yeah.
There are some quarters who believe that Babu Wino is trying to be overambitious. The reason I'm saying this, he wants to be the heir apparent to the throne should Raila Odinga ascend to the AU. That is when it comes to ODM leadership. But also on the other side, he's actually positioning himself for the Nairobi governorship in 2027. Do you think he's really trying to be overambitious and punching above his weight?
But if you have no ambition, what the hell are you doing in politics? You must be ambitious to be in politics. Those of us who are not ambitious are not in politics.
But the question is here, he could be biting more than he can chew.
That you may say that, but then again, do you know the metal of which he's made? Maybe he's tough enough for the roles. Again, like I've said before, don't show your head without careful consideration. What will people say? Because the moment you look like you are openly going for Luo leadership, let's start with the Luo leadership.
Sure.
You are up against the big names there. They will bring you down. So you must navigate very carefully because it is apparent whether Raila is going to the AU or not. Raila is a human being, and given his age, we are at the stage where we are now exiting.
The stage.
There's nothing we can do about it. It's God's way. It's nature. It's the way of nature. And therefore, naturally, there are people angling for that position that Raila occupies within the Luo nation. So Babu must be very careful how he does it. Again, this is how advice comes in. You need to have seasoned advisors to tell you this is how you are going to be stepping on the toes, because you'll step on toes. Be careful how you do it. But if you show you want governor, at the same time, wanting governor in Nairobi, and there are enough Luos to assist you on the journey, but you're antagonizing the Luo leaders in Nyanza, who have a say among Luos even in Nairobi. You'll miss both. And you'll miss both. And your journey up will end nowhere. You'll just be curtailed by these people. So you have to be very careful how you need to keep them safe, feel safe, to even assist you become governor. But you want to become governor in Nairobi, and you want to show them you want leadership of the Luo, they will not allow you. And they are the ones who control this Nairobi. Yes.
They are the underhands.
Of course, if you come from a Lego Songa, and there's a Lego Songa community in Nairobi, and you keep going there for funerals, you are the MP. You go for funerals, you go for weddings, you attend to problems, you give them bursaries, a Lego bursaries, but you'll give them to people in Nairobi. You have a say among those Luos. And you'll tell them, kijana wachana na wache kwanza akomae. And yeah, so I agree with you therefore that showing your hand to early men may be dangerous for Babu Wino.
He needs to tread carefully.
Very carefully.
Talking matters to do with angling for the Luo leadership, there are some firebrands who are coming up, that is CS Eliud Owalo and also PS Raymond Omolo. And oftentimes, as Mio Coalition has always fronted Babu Wino among its artillery to tame down anyone who is trying to compromise on Raila's influence in the region. But on this particular tag team of Owalo and Raymond Omolo, do you think Babu Wino can match up to that mountain that seems to be so high?
You know, what I have said before is that if you are seen to be anti-Luo, because to be anti-Raila is to be anti-Luo, then you can't go far. You may be a very good guy. You may be as sharp as Raymond Owalo, as good as my friend Owalo, Raymond Omolo,
and Eliud Owalo.
And Eliud Owalo, my friend. But the Luos will not, it will not cut with the Luos.
No matter how deep your pockets can be?
It won't. There have been people. In Ezekiel Yuji were there. They just died like... You can't, the Luos, and I've explained this. So, what Babu Wino should do is to be careful, not to fall in the trap of people like Ndindi Nyoro. You are young, vibrant, ambitious, but you are trying to cut a mugumo tree. Now there are mugumo trees in Nyanza. So Babu Owino trying to bring down people like Orengo and Nyang' Nyong'o and the rest of those people. It's like trying to cut down a mugumo tree with a laser. It's like what Ndindi Nyoro is trying to do. Getting people entrenched like Gachagua and thinking you can push them like this.
It can be disastrous?
It's a disaster for Ndindi Nyoro. You see, he's kept quiet. He realized touching Gachagua was not easy. So this fellow called who? Babu Owino, who is my son actually. He should be careful. Because people like Orengo are just watching. And they've been there long enough. They understand this game. They will bring you down. Just as Ndindi Nyoro is realizing, I think too late. But maybe it's good early enough. That once there are established figures, once somebody has a big force behind him, like in Gachagua is in Mount Kenya, you can see how short time it has taken for Gachagua to entrench himself.
True.
To be powerful. Because of the sort of person he is. So people like Orengo have been there, you can say, for ages. Na unatokea na ujana wako huko. My friend, they are just watching you come. Watakudengua. So I would advise Babu Owino for free. If you want to be Nairobi governor, and I've already said he stands a good chance of being governor.
True. Because
of the tribal arrangements in Nairobi. What he needs to do is to hide his ambition for the Luo leadership.
And choose one battle for now.
Yes. Let it be latent. Choose one battle. Go for the Nairobi governor. So that every Luo supports you. This is a tribal country. And our politics is even more so. So if they don't feel threatened, they will support you in Nairobi for that seat. Even if Raila doesn't support you, because Raila is unlikely to support Babu Owino for this seat, they can support you quietly underground. Chini ya maji wanakusupport tu. But Raila doesn't support you. And the Luo leadership, you have antagonized it on the ground, my friend. You are going nowhere. These Luos will be hardened into voting for Tim Wanyonyi. And they will.
And they will?
In numbers, enough to derail your ambition. Let's say there are 10 Luos in Nairobi. If through Raila and other Luo leaders, 4 can't vote for you, you remain with 6. You can't get it. You need to get 7 out of 8.
At least, the bare minimum.
That's how our politics works. At the very bare minimum, you need 60, 70% of those who vote to vote for you. Then because you are young, you look for youthful Kenyans to vote for you. Then because you have some little money, you use it to influence a few more votes. Then because you are married to a Kikuyu lady, you influence a few Kikuyu votes and you are home there. You are already becoming governor. But the moment you show your hand, your interest, and you are pushing for it for Luo leadership, my friend, this Nairobi thing, forget about it.
It could be dead on arrival.
Dead on arrival. You'll not get it.
All right. In the interest of time, before we bring this show to a wrap, let me ask you, what do you make of the latest development from the side of Babu Owino and a few other legislators, Gathoni Wamshomba, Caleb Amisi, the new outfit dubbed Team Kuskiza Ground, which is committed to spearheading political and some sort of economic reforms. But there are those who believe that Babu Owino could sort of front something that could arouse conflict of interest between the roles of the opposition, official opposition, and what he's trying to do with Wamshomba and the group. Do you really think that it could arouse some sense of conflict of interest?
There's no conflict. They're just playing politics. You know, politics is a game of groupings, if you wish. And these groups need not be uniform. They overlap. Because you are young, like Babu Owino, you play the game with youthful politicians like Amisi, like Mshomba and the rest. They may not necessarily be in your Azimio or ODM. You see how those circles overlap?
True.
So, and then they overlap with another one where you are playing with the Luo leaders because you are a Luo. Then there's another one where you are basically in a circle of Luo, of Azimio or ODM. Then there's another one. You know, that's how politics is played globally. Because politics is a game of lobbying. Okay? Lobbying for influence and power.
Conglomeration of
yes. So of interest. They are normal about interest. So if youthful people think they have an interest for this, an agenda for this country because they are young, they feel the old people like Manyora have destroyed this country and they need to do something to change this country, then they are perfectly in order for them to come together, Caleb Amisi, Geoffrey Osozi, Wamshomba, all these people, they can come together to save the country from the destruction their fathers have vocation to this country. They are perfectly in order, and there's no conflict of interest. Yeah.
So you welcome the new move, the new outfit?
This country is ripe for that kind of move. This country will not be changed by regular politicians. If Kenyans are hoping that this country will be changed by their regular politicians, these parties, this country requires, and I'm going to do a video on that, an El Salvador moment. It requires a Senegal moment.
Revolution.
You get somebody who is outside the establishment, not from Azimio, not from Kenya Kwanza, somebody else, without the bondage of parties outside. What happened in El Salvador? What is recently happened in Senegal? You get out of the status quo, because these political parties, when they are entrenched, Republican and Democrat in America, conservative and labor, they perpetuate conservatism. They don't want change. It becomes just a game. They're just playing games among themselves. Today, this one, after 2 elections, the Labour Party comes in, another, they are not for change. So for the people of UK, of Britain, Great Britain, they used to call it, to break through this and bring Britain to the level where it should be, they might have to look beyond the conservatives and the Labour. As will the Americans looking beyond the Democrats and the Grand Old Party, GOP. You get it?
Sure.
In this country, if we are going to move out of the mess in which we are, we will need to look beyond the normal PNU, ODM, TNA, ODM, Azimio, Kenya Kwanza, Jubilee versus Sijui NASA, Sijui Code. That arrangement is holding us in bondage. We can't break free. We can't realize our potential as Kenyans. So if these young people are able to break that from that bondage, that which is keeping Kenyans on the ground,
sure,
then it is welcome.
The status quo has to shift.
It has to. If you don't shift it, you can't change. I'm willing to be part of that movement to guide young people.
You still have the energy within you?
Oh, it's too much energy. I can serve this country for more than 10 years.
And a little
How
more,
long
yes.
will I take to be like Biden? I have 10 years to be as old as Raila. Raila is my senior by 10 years. Biden is my senior by I don't know how many.
You can ascend to the high city on this land within the next 10 years?
I can be president from 2027 and serve Kenyans for 10 years up to 2037. Why not? And change this country as I leave it to young people.
Without the deep pockets of the Kenyatas, the Odingas?
We want to move away from that pocket of that politics of money. It is that politics that is keeping this country where it is. Making children go to school with jiggers in their toes. You get it?
Sure.
Doctors, our best brains, roaming the streets with twigs like ruffians. That kind of politics is bondage, politics of bondage.
You can do away
We
with
are captured in that politics of Azimio, Kenya Kwanza, UDA, ODM. Unless we break from that politics, we will never move as a country. We will be stuck there. And our children will receive the worst education under trees with jiggers in their toes. 80% of the rebels still live in Kibra and Korogosho and Kawangware, Nguaro.
Even with
and
affordable housing.
80% of the city. That bondage, that capture.
Shackles.
Yeah, the shackle. We must get out of that. So I welcome those kind of efforts to try and look beyond these political formations and get a new path. Actually, I'm excited with the idea of an independent candidate.
You are?
I'm excited if we can get an independent candidate to run for president, and we all rally behind him. We can give these guys, these established figures, a run for their money. We can run them out of town. Tell them it's been nice seeing you and working with you. Please take a walk out of town.
Maybe you should be that independent candidate, because this, even from our audience and many other quarters, they have endorsed you for president.
I can.
Many times.
I can.
But you back out at the last minute like you did in 2022.
No. Going for president is not like a walk in the park. When Powell Bowen, what was his name? General Powell?
Powell.
Yeah, Powell. When he was asked to run for president because of the successful campaign in the Gulf War, these Americans like people who kill people. He told, please, the president is not anything you just take.
You walk and take away.
No, and you need passion for it. So Even Obama, when he was here, someone asked him whether he was going to go for president. He said, you think something you are just given? Power concedes nothing.
Power concedes nothing.
Correct.
There you have it from the firebrand himself, Herman Manyora, talking matters to do with the political future of Embakasi East Member of Parliament, Babu Owino, and also the politics of the opposition and what awaits opposition to Raila Odinga sent to the AUC position, and many other things in the world of politics and governance. We've actually taken down on what you wanted us to cover today, and we await to see you on our next edition here on the channel. Remember to tune in to our other editions with Jadiel Kabiro, Evan Sokinyi, and of course the standalone production by Herman Manyora himself that comes your way every Saturday. Please you need to tune in to the next edition from him. Until then, God bless you. Enjoy your day.